Hi, I'm Mark from eReplacementParts.com. In this video, we're going to look at woodworking jointers and how they are used in your home woodshop. The jointer allows you to straighten bowed and cupped stock so you can use it in your woodworking projects. Jointers have an outfeed table that's set at exactly the same height as the knives on the cutter head. The infeed table on your jointer is adjustable up and down. The adjustment on the infeed table determines how much material will be removed from your workpiece each pass through the jointer. There is also a fence on your jointer. The fence will support the workpiece at 90 degrees. You can also tilt the fence if you want to make a bevel cut. There are two types of jointers that are typically used in a home woodshop: benchtop and stationary. Benchtop jointers work great for small wood shops where space is at a premium. A benchtop jointer works really well for straightening boards that are about 3 feet in length or shorter. Also, benchtop jointers are going to have fairly narrow knives, which will limit the amount of face joining you can do. Stationary jointers come in sizes from 6-inch up to 12-inch wide knives. Most home shop woodworkers will opt for a 6 or an 8-inch wide machine. These machines will have table lengths from about 46 inches out to 84 inches. The longer the table, the easier you'll be able to get straight edges on longer boards. Also, the wider machines will allow you to face joint wider material. The 6-inch jointer with a 46-inch long bed is probably the most common jointer you'll see in a small wood shop. But if space and budget allow, it's hard to beat an 8-inch machine for your home shop. Most woodworkers use their jointers to just simply square and straighten one edge of a board, and for most projects that's all that's required. I'm going to show you how you can use your jointer to make sure that you perfectly dimension and square all edges of the workpiece. It is important to use your jointer safely. You should always have the guard attached to your machine. The guard covers the razor-sharp knives on the cutter head. Most jointer accidents occur when the guard has been removed. Always use push sticks and push blocks when using your jointer to protect your hands. When preparing material for use in a project, the goal is to have 2 faces that are parallel with each other, as well as 2 edges that are parallel, and the edges should be square to the face. The jointer is the perfect tool to help us do that. The first thing we want to do is pick one of the faces and face joint it to ensure that it's flat. I want to pick the side that's cupped, and I'll put that cup down against the jointer. Also, we want to take a look at the grain. You always want to joint with the grain. If you joint against the grain, or where the points of the grain come up, you'll tend to tear those out as it goes through the jointer. I have my workpiece face down and up against the fence on the jointer, and now I'll go ahead and run it through. Now that I have one face jointed, we can turn our attention to the opposite face. I can't just run this face through the jointer, because if the board was tapered at all, the jointer will just continue that taper. From here we need to go to the planer. The planer will ensure that the face is parallel to the face that we just jointed. Okay, now our workpiece has one face that's been through the jointer and one face that's been through the planer. And that will ensure that both of these faces are perfectly parallel with each other. Now we can turn our attention to the edges of the board. The next step is to run one edge through the jointer, and that'll ensure that the edge is straight as well as 90 degrees to the face. When I pick the edge, I want to find the edge that has a bow that's concave, and I want that edge to be down against the jointer. You wouldn't want to run a convex bow through the joiner because what that would do is basically just create a long taper on your workpiece. And again, I want to pay attention to the grain. I always want to run with the direction of the grain so I don't get tear out. Okay, with that accomplished, now we have one edge that we know is straight and 90 degrees to the faces. The last step is to take care of this edge, and for that we'll use the table saw. I have my blade set at 90 degrees to the table, and I'll run the board through, set it the width that I need for my project, and trim this edge off. And that'll ensure that these two edges are parallel to each other, and will create our last 90-degree edge, or corner. With that last edge cut off at the table saw, now we have a workpiece that we know has two perfectly parallel faces, two perfectly parallel edges, and two corners that are exactly 90 degrees. And it's ready to be used in our project. I hope I've helped you to better understand what a joiner is and what an important piece of equipment it is in your workshop. We hope you found this video helpful. Please feel free to leave a comment or ask us a question.